Washington Commanders. Last year, 5-12 after soaring heights of an NFC title berth. Their offense kind of middle of the pack. Their defense similar to Dallas. These two teams ran away with being the worst two defenses last season. Jaden Daniels. The thing was, is even in the games that he didn't play many games, he got hurt a lot too. But in those games, he was pretty poor, and so much so that I'm like, did he might have regressed? He might have gotten a little bit worse. I thought one of his superpowers last year was, or 2 years ago at this point, was his accuracy, just being able to move off platforms, being able to stand tall and accurately deliver the football, like kind of in a place where guys get catch and run opportunities. And last year, he just never did it, and that kind of sucks because I mean he was pretty special in his rookie season. But they made massive coaching changes, swapping out the offensive and defensive coordinators slash play callers. David Blau. David Blau was the assistant quarterbacks coach last season. Now he is calling an NFL offense. So don't don't lose sight of your dreams, kids. At any
Yeah.
point, you could be calling NFL plays. And then Durante Jones comes over from Minnesota. Again, I think this is Dan Quinn trying to adapt with the times, trying to tap any of that Flores magic. They re-signed Laramie Tunsil. Well, no, all right, we'll move on. Mariota, they brought back Allegretti at center, which again is a mismarket management of the center market, cutting Biotish to keep Allegretti, but whatever. They kept Andrew Wiley and Chris Paul and re-signed Jeremy Reeves, a special teams Pro Bowler. They made some big free agency splashes. Adafe Owe was the big one. Caleb Chason, Stephon Diggs, Chigga Okonkwo, Leo Chenal, Tim Settle, Lamik Robertson, just a ton of starters that can play football were similar to the Cowboys. It's just a lot of guys who couldn't play football last year along the defensive side of the ball. Their big free agency losses, again, you can see them like Debo, Chris Rodriguez, Bobby Wagner played 99% of the snaps for this team. Like, those are good losses. Those are fine losses. I think you can stomach in an aggregate. And it gets to their draft. This team, I think, with the way they drafted, I think they were really circling Cardinal Tate at pick 7. He was off the board, so they pivoted to Sonny Styles, off-ball linebacker out of Ohio State. They drafted Antonio Williams in the 3rd round, Joshua Josephs, Katron Allen, Matt Golban, and Ethan Kaliakmanis, Greek freak from Rutgers. And then the remaining questions, I think it's just the biggest takeaway is there's just so much new. I don't know how to project this team. This was the one team that I came in with a number I wanted to hit on our schedule prediction, and I hit the number. Other than that, I don't know what to project with this team, just from the sense of the offense is going from Cliff Kingsbury, spread you out, tempo, under the gun, static X receiver, Terry McLaurin, the X receiver, 90% of snaps. This is going to look like, in the sense of, I think they're going to try and tap into what Detroit has been the last few years, since he comes from, like, when he was on that, practice squad or whatever. I don't know. There's just so much new on the offensive side of the ball, and then you get the defensive side of the ball. Ton of linebackers who fit that Flores kind of body type, where Styles, Luvu, Leo Chenal all could theoretically rush the passer, drop into coverage, mug up the line, mug up the line of scrimmage. So interested to see how that works, because we've only seen Flores do what he does at the highest level. So if they're going to try and be that kind of defense, I don't know. There's just so much to project. The second one, there's a lot of RG3 and Jaden Daniels with this most previous season, and I think that is some scar tissue to just mention, just from the sense of this team was flying high with RG3, and then an injury kind of derailed it. Does that happen for Daniels? I really, really hope not, because he was a very special rookie and very exciting player for the NFL, and just very quickly it feels like he is an afterthought in this league. He got lapped by two of his draft mates in May and Williams, like, very, very fast. So interested to see how his bounce back is. And then Tunsil is down for the year. What is our pivot along the offensive line? It seems like they're just going to slide in Brandon Coleman, who played left tackle for them 2 years ago out of TCU. I I wanted to see if they would have flipped Connerly, similar to what the Chargers did with Alt last year. Before that went south when Rashawn Slater went down, but it seems like they're just going to keep that right side of the line, Cosme and Connerly, intact. Nick Allegretti still hasn't practiced at center with actual reps, so like I don't know what goes on there, but there's just so much question marks going along this team, so we'll see.
Ben?
Yeah, the Commanders, as you said, are just a hard team, right? Like, it's I want to like them because I know what the upside of this team is when Jaden Daniels is like who he is, right? Again, we had seen it in his rookie year, but there are just so many question marks on the rest of this roster, on offensive play calling and all of that. So it's going to be fun to get into the floor and ceiling debate of this team, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. I mean, looking at their additions, and the most recent one being Stephon Diggs, that I'm a huge fan of. And I mean, some people are thinking like, "Oh, Stephon Diggs, he's cooked," blah blah. I'm sorry, but like stacking him alongside Terry McLaurin is exactly what this offense needed, and it's better than Debo Samuel. So like, like it or not, I think that this
Yeah.
is a guy that's gonna be positive for Jaden Daniels. The one thing that I'm pretty worried about is the offensive line and how they're going to protect their guy. Their defense is something that I feel fairly confident in, given the addition of Sonny Styles is the headliner there. But Adafe Owe also in free agency, they paid him to be the guy, right? So I mean, I, I'm I mean, Leo Chenal still again another very positive and experienced linebacker at the highest level. Coming from Kansas City. I mean, you got some experience on the defense, and I feel like this is a hodgepodge of that on the defensive side. And I mean, when you think about Quinn, this is probably what he wanted, right? So I mean, I'm excited to see how the new OC does. That's interesting. We made that point already, but yeah, I mean, Daniels is. I mean, we talked about it with the Giants as well with Dart. I mean, his health really kind of hinders this team and really steers the ship here. They were middle of the pack despite the fact he didn't play too much when you consider offensive EPA, and I think that their defense can at least be middle of the pack at this point. So I
At
don't
least
see
you
why
hope.
not. But yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's kind of a wishy-washy kind of feel. I don't. I'll wrap it up by just saying this. I understand that sometimes we look at like, hey, we predicted so and so to go blah blah blah, this year. We were wrong. This will be a team that we're probably wrong about, and I'm okay with that. But it's just I don't I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. There's just so
Yep.
much new. There's no way to predict anything. Brand new
Yeah.
offensive play caller, brand new defensive play caller, and a coach who has failed in the past, like been fired for underachieving. So it's
Yeah.
just I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Yep.
All right,
No,
who do you have for
no.
breakout?
Matt, I'm willing to bet that our breakout player is the exact same guy.
Who is it for you?
I was between two people. My head was
You said it was
originally
the
Chris
same
Paul.
one.
Uh, wait. My head was originally with Chris Paul, but the more I think about it, in terms of the changes that you're doing on offense or the changes you're getting in on defense, I think it's going to be very beneficiary for Trey Amos. He was a lot of fun to watch last year before he got hurt. Um, so I think it's going to be fun, and again, I think it's the changes on defense, especially what you're doing in terms of getting more pass rushing along this defensive line. It makes your life as a cornerback a lot easier. And again, Trey Amos was fun at moments throughout the course of the season, and now when you add defensive line in there, I think it makes it easier for him.
Yeah, I would have said Johnny Newton before. Seems like he's going to be down for a little bit here. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just saw he did get injured. I don't know the extent of it. Might be long term. I don't know. But for me, I think it's Krosky Merritt if the kind of scheme change comes together in the way that we think it does with heavier personnel packages, under center runs. I think he's someone that you see the pop, you see the juice in the open field like that Chargers game last year, and I think just over the course of the season, I think he got beat up and he's a smaller back, so again, probably having some of that, wear and tear. So guy like, Rashad White coming in. Hey, come in and pass protect and catch passes. So our actual, between the tackles running back can run the ball, uh, you know, 12, 15 times a game. So I think Krosky Merritt is the guy that I gravitate towards a little breakout from what I saw last year.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and transition to the odds and schedule.
The schedule for the Commanders, they're hovering right at that 7.5 mark, similar to the Giants. They're third in the division, but they have much better odds in the
Conferences, I believe, was what he was saying.
Yes, yeah, I thought that was me for a second, if I'm being 100%
No.
honest.
their quarterback has done it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
All right. He's back. He's back. Hi, Matt. Yeah, decent odds here. But 7.5 still. I mean, interesting. I don't know. Should I start us off here with the first row on the left?
Yep.
All right. I will have them lose to the Eagles, just lose the first three. I'll have them beat the Colts, beat the Giants, I think I said. No, lose to the Giants. And then, oh my gosh, they're starting 0-6. Holy cow. Okay. Sorry, guys. Whoops.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's bad.
I have them losing to the Eagles, losing to the Cowboys, beating the Seahawks, losing to the Colts, beating the Giants, beating the Niners.
I'm gonna adjust one thing here. I'm gonna say they beat the Colts here, so they're 1-5. They're 1-5. Rest assured, they're 1-5. Matt, what did you have there? I'm sorry, I was analyzing my own.
I had them 3-3 going to the bye.
Okay, Ben.
Yes, yeah, I have them losing the first three to the Eagles, Cowboys, and Seahawks, winning the next two to the Colts and Giants, and losing it to the Niners, starting out 2-4.
I'll have them lose to the Eagles, lose to the Rams, beat the Giants, beat the Bengals, beat the Cardinals. 3-2 in this stretch, making it 4-7 so far.
I have them coming out of the bye, beating Philadelphia, losing to the Rams, losing to the Giants, losing to the Bengals, and beating the Cardinals. So, was that 5-6?
Yeah. Okay.
There you
Ben?
go. I have them beating the Eagles, losing the next three to the Rams, Giants, and Bengals, and beating the Cardinals, putting them at 4-7.
Okay. And then to wrap up mine, I have them beating the Titans, losing to the Texans, beating the Falcons, beating the Vikings, beating the Jaguars, beating the Cowboys. So 9-8 on the season. Heck of a comeback. What We lost Matt again.
Oh, all right. I have them beating the Titans, losing to the Texans, beating both the Falcons and Vikings, losing to the Jags, and beating the Cowboys, finishing the season at 8-9. And this is just like that weird middle ground. Like this kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like 8-9 is like this middle ground, and I could see them going 8-9. I could also see them winning like 10 or 11 games if Jaden Daniels is great. I could also see them winning like 6 games if Jaden Daniels is awful and gets hurt. This team is such a high variance team, so it is very difficult. But 8-9 is where I have them, but it's not. I don't feel comfortable in that due to the variance.
I'm with you. Yeah. Matt, to wrap up yours, you there?
Yeah, I'm losing to Tennessee, beating Houston, beating Atlanta, losing to Minnesota and Jacksonville, and beating Dallas 8-9.
8-9.
Oh.
Okay.
This is the exact spot they should be. Like I think this number is perfect. They're gonna win 8 or 9
Yes.
or 8 or 7 games. Like
Yeah, so looking at this team, I was originally thinking 8-9. So I mean, we're right there, but I'm giving them 9-8 just to give them the benefit of the doubt. I hope that Jaden Daniels makes it all the way. I mean, I hate to be the guy that like kind of, you know, oh, this guy's gonna get hurt, boo. You know what I mean? Like, you know, boo that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I he's so much fun to watch. And you know, for a team that had RG3, for example, and then drafts a similar archetype of quarterback, please don't just repeat history. You know what I mean? So yeah, for a guy like him, I just hope it works out. But there's a few games in this one I feel like when you know to transition to ceiling and floor. There's this few games that I feel like are very winnable. I would say like both Giants games, the Colts game, you know, the Bengals, the Cardinals. You've got you know Titans, Falcons, Vikings, Jags. You know, I would throw all of those in there. I would say their absolute floor is like maybe 4 wins, and then throw their ceiling at like 11. Like everything's just, I mean, this is just a well-oiled machine. Like everything's working. 11 wins, and they're right there in the heat of it for the division. And it's just I can't see that happening. So 9-8 is a very here you go, trying to be nice to you kind of thing. But you'll be on the outside looking in for another year, which is weird because this team was in the NFC Championship like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. But ceiling and floor for you guys?
Ben, what do you have it?
Yeah. I mean, I already said my ceiling and floor, right? Like, I think they could win 11 games if Jaden Daniels is what he was the back half of his rookie year. This team could also win like 6 games.
Yeah.
If the offense doesn't figure it out, you get hiccups with the new play caller. Again, this is one of the teams that I wouldn't be shocked, as Ryan had said in the last segment. Like I wouldn't be shocked if like they blow up, but I'm not going to bet it
Yeah.
in a good way. Blow up in a good.
Yep. Matt?
Yeah, I just see it as like 6-9. I think this is just the NFL's mid team. Like I think they have a fun quarterback, but everything else is just in a slightly below average kind of tier. You know, I don't have much hope for the ceiling you guys are talking about with 11. But again, that's more based on like what we've seen. Like and he has, and Daniels has done it at that level before. But I think it's going to be a process with this new offense. I just wonder what the win mark has to be for Quinn to get like another crack at this thing with this staff. Like is it 8-9 what we're talking about? Like where we're all kind of in that ballpark? Or is it just like just don't flame out in a massive way? Don't
Yeah.
win 5 games. I don't know. I don't know with this team.
Quinn's on the hot seat, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think his
what do
seat
you
is
have?
warm. I think his seat is warm.
When you
I'm
fire
not
both
quite
the
there
OC
saying like
and
hot seat,
DC,
but
I think it's hot seat.
What do
That's
you
just-
I
have
also
to
don't
do
think
to
the cliff
keep your
thing should have
job?
happened though. But that's me.
What do you have to do to keep your job here?
That's what I'm saying.
How
I
many
don't know.
games? Because if he goes 8-9 with this, do you just decide you're not the guy?
Probably.
And
It's the easiest path, right?
yeah,
Hey, man, you had us in the NFC title game 2 years ago, and now we're winning 8 games.
yeah.
Like,
What
I
happened?
think it's the easiest thing, but even then, like, this is kind of an 8-win football team.
Yeah, and I'm not even confident in saying that either. The line is at 7.5. They could very well be under that. It's gross. All right. Just to recap, Ben and Matt have them at 8-9. I have them at 9-8. So that's your Cardinals 2026 schedule prediction.
I guess we're higher on them than we talked about them. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, we all have them going over the win total, but yeah.
Yeah. But like we all hate it though. like it's
I don't. They're just
Anyways.
an impossible team to project.